IVM.
Hello and welcome to Football Twaddle. My name is Saru. Coronavirus has affected us as well.
Yep.
I mean, we didn't know the podcast industry would be affected by Corona, but it has. Baru is under quarantine. Or so he says.
Oh.
And Kumar also says he's under quarantine, but
That's not surprising.
he's joining us on Skype always. So
Yeah.
I don't know why he couldn't be on podcast, but Yash.
Hello.
And how are things going on?
They're fine, thankfully, at my end.
Okay. Have you met anyone from Italy of late?
Nope.
Anyone who's traveled back from Italy?
Thank God, no.
They should just give out a form to everyone, no? Just fill up this, like a part of NRC. Just do this and just send it back. And then that'll be like amazing. But let's get to this thing straight, man. Coronavirus is affecting all of European football.
Absolutely. It's crazy. Scenes that we have not ever seen, I guess.
Like what, empty stadiums?
Yeah,
go
I mean,
to Andheri Sports Complex. You'll see those scenes every week.
Yeah, but over there, I guess the fans will gather outside the stadiums and make the noise rather than inside.
Which they saw. I think there was one of the games which was postponed or which was played in the empty stadium.
Right.
But there were so many fans outside the stadium. Atlanta versus Valencia.
Yeah.
So they're like,
Champions
what do we do now? So you
Yeah.
can't.
I guess they just have to take precautions where they can. I mean, they can't, unless the government decides to just empty out the streets.
Yeah.
Section 144 or whatever equivalent of that is in Italy.
I'm sure when they call it Section 144.
Were they ruled by the Brits as well?
Italians, for some time after the World Wars, they must have been.
Probably.
No? All right. So let's do this. Arsenal can't seem to play Manchester City ever.
Yeah.
First, City was going to play the final. They couldn't. That got postponed. Now, because of coronavirus, Arsenal is not playing City. Will this game ever happen this season?
It will happen much later, and I think it will be to the detriment of Arsenal.
Why?
Because City won't have anything to play. And
What does Arsenal have to play for?
Oh, they have to play for top 4, no?
Really? I thought Ole has locked that down.
Though it's still mathematically possible for them. And Ole is now, I think he's run out of strong teams to beat. Now he'll have to play against the weaker teams and I think he'll mess up there.
Oh man, but this is a thing, right? Yeah. So the story is, what is confirmed is that the owner of Olympiacos,
crazy.
He's been tested positive and he interacted with 4 or 5 Arsenal players. Yeah. And as a precautionary measure, FA has postponed the game.
Is that so? I mean, I read somewhere that Arsenal players have gone under a self-seclusion.
That's because the doctors told them to. Why would any player just go on a self-seclusion?
Samadhi, dude.
So they went on that, right? So that game is postponed.
Yep.
But Wolves are supposed to play Olympiacos in Greece.
That's another empty stadium thing, right?
Yeah, but Wolves said, if the owner of your club has been affected and the FA has postponed a game here, we are requesting UEFA to postpone the game. UEFA said no, you'll play in an empty stadium, which is the Greek government ruling.
Right.
So Wolves are making the trip to Greece to play this. But this is so weird. If you have to be strict
Seriously,
about
man.
it, and you're postponing a game.
But hey, wait, wouldn't it be crazy if it turns out the players were affected by Corona and Arsenal were beaten by a team affected by Corona?
Oh. Yeah, but what are the side effects? You'll just cough while playing? I don't know. I don't know what the side effects are.
Maybe they were spooked by coughing players. That's why they lost. Another excuse.
Aubameyang missed that sitter.
Because someone coughed behind him. He's like, oh my God.
Oh, that's so scary. But so Europa League is the most affected as of now. So I was just reading. Roma was supposed to travel to Sevilla.
Right.
And the Spanish authorities did not give permission for their flight to land. So they said there's no way we can land. So that game has been postponed.
Correct.
And Getafe said they are not going to play Inter Milan.
Crazy.
So that game has been postponed.
Yep.
So if you're postponing games, why can't you just postpone Wolves and Olympiacos?
Yeah, I mean, this has to be the craziest, decision by the UEFA, man. It just doesn't make sense.
Because, yes, and so from whatever I read, Italy has suspended Serie A till April 3rd.
Yep.
So at least Antonio Conte won't lose till then. And Greece has suspended games till mid-April.
Right.
Or they're saying they're playing in an empty stadium. And Germany, they're playing a few things in an empty stadium. So I was reading a report where Fortuna Düsseldorf, the owners are looking at ways of taking fan chants and then putting it on loudspeaker in the stadium so that It
You'll
gives
get the feel.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. I mean, it's so crazy that it might work. Like usually there are speakers taking in the sound from the crowd to broadcast it all over, but now you're catering to players needing that
Yeah.
atmosphere to work.
And La Liga
Fair play.
is playing without fans till April 15th. So
Ooh.
only England has fans probably going to the clubs, and some clubs in
You
Germany.
see, this is why Brexit was needed.
Oh,
This is why Brexit is to block Corona from Europe.
for independent decision
Yes.
making. But there's a graph which released today that US, France, and England are following the same trajectory as Italy did. And if they don't take measures now,
Right.
that they would be as affected. But it doesn't seem like they seem to.
Care that much?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they just think that their people are healthier than all these
The British.
Yeah.
Do they also get WhatsApp messages that alcohol is the cure?
The solution. Yep.
All right. So, has league ever been suspended? Like other than, let's say, world wars, right?
Yeah. So I looked it up. The thing is, fortunately, they started all these wars in the mid-season. Not mid-season, just before the league started.
Fortunately,
like Hitler and all, Mussolini came together. Arey, let's not break up the season like this. So let's invade Poland before the season starts or something. But anyway, so during the First World War, they...
Is this the silver lining of Second World War people are missing?
Okay, coming back to this. So First World War, the Premier League did finish till 1915. So I guess they didn't have those bomber planes by then to stop the league from happening. And back then, there was no La Liga. Serie A used to be played in different regional systems. So most of the leagues played out till 1915. And then when the war got really serious, they didn't start the next season.
For the next 3 years.
For the next 3 years, yeah. And then, interestingly, so the last great pandemic was the Spanish flu, which happened right after the First World War.
Do you know how many Indians died?
Yeah, some 17 million or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
Insane. So that flu killed more people than the actual war itself. That's also something crazy. And but that again, the peak of that happened before the 1919 season started. So again, the leagues were not affected. And so during the Second World War, it started in September. So 3 games were played.
And then
3 games of the Premier League were played, and then it was suspended, obviously. And guess which team was on top?
Liverpool.
No.
Oh, God.
It ends with Pool though.
Blackpool.
What? Yeah, 3 games played, 3 games won, 6 points. They were on top. And second, maybe it's a coincidence, was Sheffield United.
They're the 5th now.
They're 5th now. So yeah, so they were close to the top of the league. Whatever, the pinnacle of English football, which they're usually not. But
if someone from Sheffield had a graph to draw, like some MBA, and would say, look, when the league got suspended in 39, we were 2nd. And now the league probably will get suspended, we are 5th. So over like the century, we were just over 80 years, we just slipped 3 points. So we are at the top of the English tier all the time. So there is no realistic chance that Liverpool is not going to win the league.
It doesn't seem so. I mean, this is a serious thing, and a lot of people have died. But England seems to be going ahead with its games. I mean, even as we are talking, the Champions League game hasn't happened yet, and they're allowing the crowds in
England. Oh yeah, they are. There's no stopping to that.
Yeah.
So what if picture this scenario: Liverpool win their league after 30 years of pain, hurt, whatever.
Right.
But they have to win it in an empty stadium.
It serves them right.
And then they go on their bus ride. There's no one on the streets.
Maybe they should put up screens of screaming fans so that it feels like...
Dude, that is so sad. Do you think Klopp is thinking why? Why this year?
Probably he is. I mean, he had a very dignified response which went viral, which was pretty good. That why are you asking me? Go ask a doctor or something. Is that? But
Ancelotti also said the same thing, but probably people didn't understand. But okay.
So anyway, I'm sure all of them are feeling bad about the whole scenario.
All right. So let's get to the games.
Right.
Now Liverpool are 2 games away from being crowned champions. So by my estimate, I think by 25th March probably.
Yeah. I'm sure they would want to wrap it up before a quarantine or whatever happens to England.
Yeah. So by 25th March we'll have champions. Man, isn't that the earliest?
Yeah, that's the earliest. I think all records they're smashing.
And a primary reason for that to happen is your team, Manchester United, beat Manchester City 2-0. Yeah, so few things. Let's talk about Scott McTominay's goal.
that goal actually makes the victory seem sweeter, because if you look at the stats and everything else around the game, this was like a last minute goal, obviously makes it feel much bigger than what it was.
But didn't United had enough? Didn't they hit the post and things like that in that game?
Hit the post? I don't think so, but yeah, United had most of the chances, so they had a much higher XG and whatever.
And Martial missed enough.
Martial hit the post himself. The ball did not hit.
Oh, wait. While reading the commentary, I just said hit the post. I read, so I'm like, I thought Martial hit the post.
Martial, yeah, he went into the bat again. It was an Edison error where a back pass, he just let it go under his foot. And Martial was chasing it down, but Edison, I guess, was good.
So was it shot on target or off target?
It wasn't even a shot, dude. It was a back pass.
Oh.
So he chased him down. He missed the back pass, this guy, Edison. And Martial was tearing down on the ball, but just in time, Edison managed to kick it, and the momentum just took Martial onto the post.
Okay. Clearly, I didn't watch the game.
Right.
So, few things I read on Twitter is that Dan James runs a lot, but he needs to know when to pass. Is that an accurate statement?
Absolutely. That's one aspect of the game he needs to improve, but he is a very good asset in a game like this where you have like 20% possession, because, I mean, on that left-hand side, Sterling was completely, isolated straight into the hands or the feet of Van Bissaka, because Zinchenko simply could not come beyond the halfway line, because, if he ever did it and if a ball was played behind, he was getting nowhere close to Dan James in that scenario.
All right. The second thing I read on Twitter is that we have Bruno, we don't need Pogba.
Well, in a complicated way, that's fair enough, I guess. I mean,
isn't the team playing much better now?
Absolutely, yeah. But see, the thing is, in this formation, Bruno is sort of free in his role, and Bruno's game is completely different. Like, one thing I really appreciate about his game is how early he takes the decision. Like, as opposed to Pogba, he used to dally a bit on the ball. And finally, with Bruno coming in, I see the last influence and vestiges of LVG's game going away. So we had done away with possession and passing. So not even the considered dallying on the ball exists. Like, one of the plays that really exemplified the game for me, symbolized it completely in like a microcosm, I would say, is when City had the ball in midfield and Fred won the ball, and Fred was winning the ball throughout the game. He won the ball, played an early ball to Bruno, and Bruno doesn't trap the ball. He just played it first time through two defenders onto Dan James, who was through on goal, but he scuffed his shot.
But that's okay. As long as you're creating chances, you will score
that's
some.
okay. But see, that one play itself sort of told you how the game was. Like, City trying their pretty plays, losing the ball, and United going on a counter.
I don't think City played. I saw the highlights of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, they had enough possession, but did De Gea have enough saves to make? I don't think so.
He didn't have a lot of saves, but in the opening passages, there was this one time when Aguero nutmegged Harry Maguire and went through, and I was like, this game is going to be terrible for United. But eventually, see, another issue that I see in City's game is because they were missing De Bruyne and Silva, that they were relying a lot on Sterling, and Sterling, for some reason, I think his ego is hurt with
what?
Because he can't get past Van Bissaka. So,
but
all the time he was like, give me the ball, I'm going to beat this guy. When a couple of passes were on, things would have been different if he didn't do that nonsense.
That's okay. So Pep made a statement after the game that this is like, we are playing as good as, this is one of the best games we've played.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I mean, these days, when I look at Pep's face, I just feel that he's going to bluff he's going to talk utter nonsense for some reason. Like, he just doesn't seem like a trustworthy person when I look at him.
It reminds me of my man when Jose said that finishing second with United is the greatest achievement of my life. That doesn't seem like as big a lie as what Pep says now.
Yeah, but see, with Jose, from the beginning that, he's going to, you have to take him with a pinch of salt, and he's a bit of a joker.
He's not made his image as like, I am the football evangelist.
Right, correct.
I just want to win. I will lie whatever to just win.
Yeah.
But
this thing does not suit sort of the personality he's built up over the years, because now I think being so far behind Liverpool has affected him, and losses really affect him. Now that they have lost as many matches as Arsenal, I think it's really more. With this one more. So it's really getting to him, I sort of feel.
Poor guy. You think he's going to survive the Corona or the City season?
Yeah, he'll survive both.
Alright, so let's look at the table. Chelsea beat Everton 4-0. Willian gave me 13 points.
Yeah, man.
And Marcus Alonso played well. So they somehow are like picking up wins. So I think the fourth is generally between Chelsea and United. But
don't you think Leicester will drop below? I mean, they had a good win yesterday, but
Leicester is 53 points.
Right.
First win in 2 months, by the way, for Leicester.
Right.
But Leicester is on 53 and United is on 45 in fifth. They have to drop 10 points in 9 games.
Yeah,
and United has to gain 10 points. So
that's the more difficult part, I believe.
Yeah, so it's still between Chelsea, United. So you think United is probably going to finish fourth? I would say no.
They should finish fourth. I mean, given the run of games that they have now, they really should.
Is Rashford back anytime? No.
I think he'll take another month minimum. But I mean,
you have Igalo. Come on.
Igalo is so good.
I'm actually quite happy that he's been a lifelong United fan.
Yeah. I mean, it's a joy to watch him play. Like he seems like a very eager person,
and he seems like a very just happy to be there person.
Yeah, and his first touch is a godsend because on the pitch he appears like a mini Lukaku. But man, I mean, there was this one.
I saw that
one play where the ball is just launched by De Gea and he just traps it. It was like, wow, this is not.
Yeah, but come on,
what I'm used
don't
to
compare him to Lukaku. Lukaku is a much better footballer.
Oh, 100%, no doubt.
Yeah, unfortunately, no one in the stadium also can watch Lukaku play anymore. Yeah. But that's it. So Arsenal are like way below 40th point. What are you going on about Arsenal? They have 8 points to get to Chelsea.
Right.
So, dude, even their season is as good as over.
Yeah, I mean, are they in the FA Cup?
Arsenal? I don't know. I don't really care. I mean, after the Arsenal boys don't do the podcast as often now, I don't really care that much for that.
Right.
But they beat West Ham.
Oh, yeah.
1-0.
Yeah. I think even the AFTV people were saying this was a boring game and all. So.
That is your benchmark on AFTV. They're saying it's a boring game.
Yeah.
I saw this. Didn't Lacazette score in that game?
Yep.
So I saw this on Twitter when Lacazette was coming on the Arsenal tweet.
Right.
Say Lacazette coming on. There were like barrage of tweets. What is this life? Just kill me right now. Let Corona affect me. All of those tweets. As soon as he scores the same guys, we knew it. It was like, that was
instant.
Dude, that's so funny. But talking about Chelsea, Willian is out of contract end of this season.
Oh. So, Inter Milan?
No, not Inter Milan. We'll take a break right now and let's talk about Willian a little because he's a free agent. And let's talk about other games as well.
Cool.
What's to look forward to this weekend? There's Tottenham
United.
Tottenham has like some 6 players playing.
Yeah, but it's going to be a proper low block game, like even Mourinho versus...
It won't. United is just going to go for it. Anyone runs fast at like Jan Vertonghen, he gets scared these days.
But he'll have to come out of his 8-yard box. No?
You run fast at him, even there he gets scared now. You can see him aging, like while playing football. You can just see his age.
Right.
All right, let's take a break right now, and after the break, we'll continue this chit chat on the Corona-affected football weekend. We would like to thank HDFC Life Insurance for supporting this show. HDFC Life Insurance has created an online video series called Behind the Journey with some of the most interesting people from the creative and entertainment industry. It explores the stories that are behind the glitz and glamour of the spotlight and screaming fans. Let's listen to a snippet from the episode featuring Zakir Khan.
It's not like कि मैंने आज यहाँ पे ये पैसे इन्वेस्ट करें तो इसमें तो इतना रिटर्न आया नहीं, अब मुझे नहीं करना. एज आर्टिस्ट होना जो है वो लॉन्ग टर्म गेम है, वो शॉर्ट टर्म गेम नहीं है. आपको उसको कंसिस्टेंटली अप्रोच करना पड़ेगा डे बाय डे एंड फॉर इयर्स.
Long-term consistency is essential as it helps an artist grow and consistent efforts helps growth in your finances. You can watch all episodes of Behind the Journey on HDFC Life Insurance YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/HDFC Life. Take control of your personal goals with HDFC Life Insurance's financial solutions. Plan now with HDFC Life Insurance.
Terms and conditions apply. HDFC Life Insurance Company Limited, IRDAI registration number 101.
Hello, welcome back to Football Twaddle. My name is Saru. Yash.
Hi.
So, Willian is out of contract.
All right.
In June. He's 31 years old.
Yep.
He wants a 3-year contract with Chelsea. Chelsea are sticking on to 2. And it looks like he is going to leave the club at the end of the season. The latest rumors are that he will most likely go to Tottenham.
Okay.
But Arsenal have, because he's a free agent, Arsenal have put their hat in the ring.
Interesting choices.
What do you make of Willian? I like the player. I like him quite a lot. And as a free agent, I think it's...
No, he'll be a steal as a free agent. I've always liked him. I just didn't think he was maybe in the top echelons of
what?
English Premier League.
He won the league
twice.
twice.
You win a league as a team, right? So he was fine. He's a good contributor and all that. But I mean, I understand why Chelsea wouldn't want to renew his contract.
Yeah, he'll be 34 then. I don't know. They had a rule that after 30 they'll just have a 1-year rolling contract, which I think has changed.
I think this is what a lot of clubs are
going to
follow eventually.
Yeah, because players can play longer now. So just having the same 30-year-old rule doesn't make sense. But do you think he'll end up at Tottenham?
Well, I mean, Mourinho wanted him to replace Martial a couple of years ago, so he clearly likes Willian. Did he buy Willian in his second stint?
He did. Okay. Willian was about to sign for Tottenham.
Right. Oh.
He flew to London. He was on the way to the Tottenham for medical. He was on the way from the airport for medical.
I've heard the story.
And then a call was made, and then he changed his direction. Yeah. He's played for 7 years for Chelsea. Yeah.
The whole, I mean, it'll be a good story if he goes to Tottenham.
For who?
But generally for journalists, they'll tell this story again. 7 years ago, Mourinho took him off Tottenham. Now he's bought back.
So I already read 1 or 2 articles on it, on how Daniel Levy was like enraged. They basically abused Chelsea for like 3 days for stealing Willian. But, well, what to do? Okay, let's look at the other results which happened this weekend. Liverpool beat Bournemouth 2-1. Oh God, it's just so annoying. Like, Bournemouth were leading that game, no?
Yep.
And I thought Bournemouth are just going to again beat Liverpool. But that clearly didn't happen. Leicester beat Aston Villa 4-0. Jamie Vardy is back to scoring.
Didn't Barnes do well, surprisingly, in FPL? I was like, what the hell is happening?
Didn't someone message Barnes on Twitter saying that you're killing my FPL, bro, do something about it? He said, I'm actually worried myself. If I don't do something about it, I'll
substitute myself.
I won't be on the team.
Oh.
That's what he said. But they beat Aston Villa 4-0. A very good victory for them.
Yes.
And
I think Villa are giving up or something.
I think.
Or nahi hoga.
Nahi. So there is that their manager could be sacked this weekend. Aston Villa play Chelsea. So if Villa basically lose that game, I think he could be sacked. But they should know by now, no? That
this is a very good time for them to get a new manager bump, because there are so many teams on 27. And, I mean, Brighton at 29 or 15. So if they get a decent new manager bump, they might just survive. And
why not continue the same guy? He's given you 27 already.
No, he's on 25, right?
So 4 points.
Yeah, so 4 points away is Brighton at 15. There are 3 teams with 27 in the middle. So if they get a decent run, like whatever the mythical new manager bump. So, 3-4 wins will just take them out in the clear, and I guess they have decent players.
Where's Watford on the table?
17th, just like go on goal difference they're ahead of Bournemouth.
Oh, so Watford could actually 1-2 more wins, they'll be through. Dude, that'll be so good. Nigel Pearson back, saves the club from relegation. That will be the story.
Yeah. Then they need to sack him and get Ranieri. Fantastic it'll be.
Not yet. Okay, so according to you, who's going to get relegated after you've seen enough matches?
Yeah, Norwich. And I think Villa are done, man. There's just something not right. And they're like Fulham last year. Like, they have a bunch of good players who don't play as a team.
Oh, and you know who spent the 3rd or 4th most money?
Yeah, Villa did.
Villa did.
They were leading until I think United bought
Harry Maguire. Yeah. So they are done. Then there's Bournemouth, Watford, I think West Ham are going to go down this season.
Yeah, they just don't. There's something about West Ham also. It doesn't feel right.
Poor David Moyes. You guys ruined his career. Like, I have some sympathy, shame for.
Yeah, I hope he does well somewhere.
Where? It's gone. It's done.
Scotland, his home country.
Where will he go?
Scotland is. Any team, man. I mean, he'll do decently at any team over there. If Brendan Rodgers could win trebles and unbeaten seasons, then Moyes can hold his own at like an Aberdeen or something.
Brendan is good manager.
Yeah, he's decent, but
and he's not been scarred with this whole United job.
Yeah, fair enough. But see, I was not suggesting he go to Celtic, but at a mid-level Scotland team, he can rebuild his career. He can go there and rebuild his career.
Like Aberdeen.
Yeah.
And then come back to United.
Yeah, that'd
and
be
then
the Fergie story again.
How many years was Fergie in Aberdeen?
7 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, he won 3 titles. He won that Winners' Cup, which is
What do you call those people who finish 5 years in a job? They get some sort of
gratuity.
Yeah. You think Fergie has got gratuity pay? Is there gratuity pay abroad? Do you have any idea?
I don't think so. I mean, he was at Aberdeen, bang in the middle of that Margaret Thatcher reign, so she must have just cut it all out.
But she introduced seating in the stadiums, which again brings me back to United.
Yeah.
There are supposedly some proposed changes at United now. They are going to increase the fan singing section at the stadium.
They've been talking about it for a long while. I don't know how are they going to... I've not looked into it because this happens every season. Like before the season starts, all the fan channels, everyone is like, we want singing session. The stadium is too big. These tourists come and don't know the songs. The usual stuff.
Yes, but it seems this time they're making some concrete changes. So here, they've frozen the ticket prices for the 9th year in a row. Okay. So they're obviously not increasing that.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is good. Then they have already announced that an enlarged singing section is going to be within the ground. And they're also looking at in the future having safe standing sections in the stadium. So bring back that. And
that element is so far back in the history. So I don't think those elements are going to come again, especially given how pricey the tickets are right now.
Yeah, but see, one of the things I've at least read is that a lot of foreigners, when they come to England, because they've just seen Premier League on TV, they think it's just noisy and everything. Yeah. So one of the first things that actually hits them is it's actually not very noisy and it's pretty quiet a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And so probably United, when I remember when Mourinho was there and he complained about fans not being loud enough, so they had the fan chants and everything printed on.
Yeah, fair enough. That's one way to make it happen, man. I mean, it's such a big global game right now and the stadiums are so big that I can imagine the atmosphere not being as great as maybe a compact, smaller ground with intimate fans.
Hey, you think Luke Shaw is a good left back now?
He's reasonably good. He's had problems with his health and everything, but the good thing about him is that he's good defensively. He's not very good in the final third of the opposition, but he can play that left centre back position quite well. He can play a normal 4-man defense left back quite well.
So he's kind of improved quite a lot.
He's improved quite a lot.
Another person who doesn't need improvement is James Milner. He had a goal line clearance of Ryan Fraser, and
he's quite consistent now that he's playing much fewer games.
He's so fit. I saw a training video of Liverpool when they came back for the preseason. First day they just wanted to check how much these guys can run and all of that.
Right.
So they had a rule or a competition sort of a thing where all the players start running. You run your fastest, whoever finishes in the end.
Oh yeah, called
they drop out.
Yeah.
And then you continue till the last guy is standing, right?
Yes, it's called some other test, yeah. I forgot the name. The Indian cricket team also does that.
Yo-yo?
That's a yo-yo test, no?
No. They do a 400 meter sort of a lap thingy.
Okay.
So yo-yo is a different thing, but something similar.
Okay.
And Milner finished first. 35-year-old Milner. He beat all the fast ones. That guy he's crazy fit.
Yeah, he is. But to be fair, he's 35 and... The fact that they're rationing his games must be really helping his game right now.
Yeah, but it all does so good for a team when you have someone like Milner.
He's fantastic to have in your team. You need a player like that. And him and Ashley Young used to play together in Aston Villa, and he's the exact opposite of what Ashley Young was.
Come on, you are just slating Ashley Young for no reason. He has been good.
Though, man, are you serious? He's been very average in a very average team.
So you are average in
an
average.
That's double average. No? That's much worse.
Average into average. All right. So who's going to win the league, Yash?
Which league?
Premier League.
I don't know. Corona.
Oh God. Fine. Who's going to? You think City will overtake? No, Leicester will overtake City. They're still only 4 points behind.
No, absolutely not. I think City will easily romp through for that second spot.
Yeah, they have to finish the league. If they don't finish the leagues all over Europe, what's going to happen is you don't know who's going to get promoted and this. And if they have matches in closed door stadiums, I was reading League 2 clubs, Serie B clubs and everything. Right. They are so dependent on that. That they'll have no salaries to pay people. Dude, this thing is actually affecting the heart of
football.
Yeah. I mean,
sad times. I mean,
in these sad times, the deserved winner is a sad team like Liverpool.
I think they'll have to come to some sort of consensus about, playing fewer games or something like that.
Revenue sharing.
No, not revenue sharing. I mean, they should accept cancelled games and shared points at this stage reasonably. That's a reasonable thing.
That is okay, but what do clubs do? You still have to pay people, no?
Yeah, but
how will you pay? You have no money coming in.
But it'll reduce your cost, right? If the matches don't happen, even the costs are reduced.
Yeah, but your biggest cost of a club is people.
No. Okay, so if they're multi-million-dollar earning players, then they obviously need to be charitable and not here in this case.
अरे पर वो rent कैसे भरेगा फिर?
What rent, man? I mean,
you think Serie B players are multi-millionaires? They just
no. Obviously, I'm talking about Serie A and all. Serie B and all. This is like tough luck for them, I guess.
Wow, what an optimist you are.
I mean, the only people who can help them right now are the governing bodies who can spend some money, and the governments maybe.
All right. The last thing, how are you doing on FPL?
I'm doing pretty bad, man. I mean, I had Aguero as captain and his game is cancelled now.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
I got 88 points.
Yeah, you won, man. Congrats.
Because of Willian.
Yeah.
13
points. You didn't have Barnes in your team?
No. I didn't. Okay. I had Alan Saint Maxima on my bench and he scored 10 points. I put Adama Traore. I think I'll remove Adama Traore. Okay.
Take Bruno. I had Bruno.
How much is he worth?
6.4 or something.
Really? I'll take him for the weekend. He's definitely going to do something against Spurs. For sure.
Because Spurs also wanted to buy him?
Yes, no. Not that. He's definitely going to do something because Spurs are... They just look so old.
When you least expected, these teams do well, man. That's what I'm worried about.
No, this is to be expected. You're not.
Why? I mean, Mourinho really would want to prove himself.
Dude, that's over. He's changed clubs so often. There's nothing to prove. They asked him a question in the press conference.
Right. Oh, sorry, Bruno is 8.5.
Yeah. No, okay. But they asked Mourinho a question against. Do you think you have to prove something against Julian Nagelsmann?
Okay.
This was before the first. He's like, what do I have to prove?
Well, I mean, he's being honest. He doesn't need to prove, apart from the fact that he's still got it. That's the only thing he has to prove.
Yeah, but I think he's beyond caring about anything, which is kind of.
I mean, he's the right club then at Spurs. In this scenario, don't need to prove it.
Yeah, that's actually it. No, he's at the right club. He doesn't have to win.
Yeah.
He just has to get to 4th. It's like the Arsenal of the old. Arsenal now have to finish in top 6.
Yeah.
Not even top 4.
Wow.
You think they'll have a bus ride if Arsenal finishes in top 4? They should, no?
They should, yeah.
Again, that'll be empty. One side Liverpool will be going on an empty bus ride and one side Arsenal will be going.
Yeah.
But Euros could be threatened, so...
Yeah, well... I mean, Euros are like the not so important international trophy as compared to the World Cup. So I'm sure FIFA is like, thank God, this is not a World Cup, yeah.
All right. On that positive note, Yash, thanks a lot for coming in.
Thank you.
And all of you listeners, please follow us at @Footy Twaddle on Twitter, Football Twaddle on Instagram and Facebook. Take care. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed that show. We'd like to thank our sponsors this week, HDFC Life and Paytm Money. Also, just a very quick note, I would really appreciate it if you guys could fill out a really short survey on our website. It's on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It's just a brand recognition survey for us to kind of work with the advertisers and give them some data. So it's a very short, less than 1 minute survey. Really appreciate your help in filling it out. And let me tell you a couple of things that you should check out this week. On paperback, Rachita and Satyajit are joined by the host of Litnama, Lakshmi Krishnan. They talk about women's role in writing and fiction written by women. On The Habit Coach, we have a Women's Day special where Ashton talks about periods, PMS, PCOD, and other taboo subjects which shouldn't be taboo at all. On the Empowering series, Zarina is joined by actor Jim Sarb. They talk about the art of storytelling and his unconventional characters. On Agla Station Adulthood, Ayushi and Ritasha talk about coming of rage and coming of age. On IVM Life, Ritika, Alika and Antarish welcome new producer at IVM, Sumit, to discuss their ultimate fantasy jobs. Don't miss Sumit's first ever recommendation on the show. Thanks and keep listening.
Hi, I'm Satyajit.
Hi, I'm Racheta.
We are from the Open Library Project and we host a podcast called Paperback.
Paperback is a podcast where we engage with stalwarts and experts from various industries, suggesting non-fiction titles that contributed to their journey in a big way.
We've had guests like Anjali Raina, Dr. Marcus Rani, Dr. Swati Lodha, Ambi Parmeswaran, Apurva Damani, and many more on our show Paperback. Find new episodes every Wednesday on IVM Podcast app, website, or wherever you listen to podcasts.